Welcome back to the channel. I'm Denise Brady. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist who loves reality TV, pop culture, mental health. So hit that like, subscribe, stay for a little bit. Okay, stay. All right. We've been discussing and recapping Love is Blind all season. This has been, I think, one of the worst seasons. Okay. Let me know in the comments, what do y'all think has been the worst season? Is it this? Is it Minnesota? You know, because we can clock the tea in the comments, okay? But we are down another couple. Joe has said, I don't want it. I don't want it. This ain't for me. Let me out. I want to escape. And that's what he did last episode. He escaped. And we see Madison on the phone. Joe left. He really left. He really left. It's really over. Yeah, because Joe was never into you, girl. He was people pleasing. He was trying to make everybody else happy, knowing he's a commitment phobe. He's afraid. He is not somebody who enjoys commitment. I think he enjoys the life that whatever he is living, but not marriage, okay? And maybe go on the show, he thought, okay, since I'm afraid of the process of like putting the work to get married, maybe a faster, just quick process will help me. Maybe he should have went on Married at First Sight. I don't know. But he ain't into that girl. And the thing that I applaud Joe for, even though he has made a lot of mistakes, he was not a jerk to me in this conversation with Madison. He could have went left and said, hey, you know what? That thing you keep saying, what is it? What is it? What is it? Physically, I'm not attracted to you. And I want to know, do y'all think he should have been honest? Would y'all have rather have seen that versus him kind of like, I think, being around the bush, being nice about it? Okay. Joe was never fully in. He hasn't been since he saw her. Okay. And she wants to know why. Like, what is going on? When you say that you can't figure it out, there's really nothing. You just know I'm not your person. What is it? The truth hurts. And I think he knows that. He knows if I'm honest with you, then it will hurt you. But then again, I'm like, is he trying to save face? But then he not. Because we see him in the confessional. Man, he was honest. He is detached and he's relieved. He is relieved that it's over. He has probably been pretending since he saw her. And I think it would have been better. Damn, okay. It would have been better if he had said from the beginning, you know what? Similar to Casey, I guess. Like, I'm just not attracted to you and I would rather not put you through this process. And I'm just going to probably go home back to my regular life. I'm sorry. I did like you, but girl, it wasn't you. You're just not my person. I'm just not attracted to you. And saved a lot of hurt. But it once again goes back to people pleasing and doing what you think other people think is necessary of you to make other people happy. Watch him at dinner with her family. Them have a conversation. I think when she was going to meet his family, her saying that she was nervous. It just kind of felt like there was no, to me, romantic connection. Okay, I don't see the romance. I don't see the romance even when I look at Edmond and KB. There's no romantic physical connection there either. A lot of these couples are just in some ways playing it safe to like not be the villain, not be the jerk, not be the one. Yeah, it's because of the way you look. I was never attracted to you. A lot of them are pretending. But I think Joe was just like, I'm done, y'all. It started to get real for me when I was over there trying on my suits and I can't do it. Okay. His confession was very cold and matter of fact. And for me, I feel like that was probably the real Joe. Very matter of fact, but in the process, Joe became a person who's trying to make other people happy in this process, which I think he has also done in the past with other relationships. And so Joe needs to find out who Joe is, what Joe wants, and be okay with the world knowing what Joe wants. Okay, knowing that Joe might not be the best guy, he might be a jerk at times, but being honest with himself that he wasn't attracted to her. He says she was not his person. So I give him a little bit of credit for, I guess, ending it before the wedding process, but then he had her try on them dresses. He slept with her. I don't know how much credit. I'm gonna give you a little bit. I'm gonna give you a little bit, man, but not a whole lot. Okay, it's good to see them kind of end things before, I want to say putting her family through it, but then he met her family at dinner, so yeah, I don't know how much credit I can really give you, because you kind of fucked around and just kind of fucked her over a little bit, okay, knowing she was very attached to you. But then again, I feel like Madison has to regulate her emotions, learn how to express them without always, I don't want to say being hysterical, because I feel like people label women hysterical and I don't want to do that, but at times it's just like one small thing can be like, what? Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean, Joe? So you got to work on a little bit of that. Okay. Now in this episode, we also saw Edmond and KB go on this snowboarding thing, and she hit the fan. Okay. Once again, we're seeing the same arguments, the same emotional labor, the same you. Cause you the problem. You acting one way on screen and acting another way in the car. I'm tired of you acting two different ways. I'm just like, okay. Once again, you go into a scene with tension. And I feel like, once again, she has a right to feel this way, but I think there's a way to communicate, hey, we're about to go on this trip. We're about to go on this excursion. I'm feeling some kind of way. Can we process and talk about that before we get over there and we have this core memory together? I'm feeling like I'm always doing this. I feel like sometimes using statements that are like, I feel, instead of universal statements of you always, you never. People get caught up in using universal statements that it takes away from the conversation and the partner just shuts down. You never, you always, I'm always. It doesn't have to be like that. I think there's a way of having a conversation of like, hey, I feel like we have had a repetitive conversation regarding such and such. And once again, I am feeling such and such. And I want to work this out and have this conversation before we go into this event, this scene, because I don't want to go into it with these feelings and emotions. Okay? I don't want to go into it with that. But instead, it's bottling up. Once again, she says, I'm falling for the potential. How long can you just hold on to something that's not there? The potential does not exist to me anymore. I think she's very much over it. KB is exhausted, but she is exhausting to watch also. Because as a black woman, I've seen women have these conversations over and over again. But then I see her trying. I see Edmond in some ways maybe trying, but the dynamic is repetitive. We've seen them have the same argument over and over again. And what's going to change? As a couples therapist, people have the same arguments over and over again because there's no action. You're listening to refute. You're listening for defense. You're listening because you think you have the answers. You're listening because you want the argument to be over. You're not listening to pour into the relationship to make things better. Okay. So there's this conversation about dismissive behaviors. I honestly think that there's something with the processing. There's something processing happening with Edmond. Okay, I don't think he's purposely dismissive. I think he doesn't understand some different layers about communication, feelings, social cues, picking up on things. And so because of that, they have the same argument. And it's not because he's doing it on purpose at times. I just think that there's something there that is getting in the way of their relationship. And I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not his therapist, but I see there's some stuff there that is not being discussed and said that has become a third in their relationship. And that they have to really work through and figure out, hey, when I'm communicating with you, tell me what's going on. Are you a person who takes a little bit of time to process? Because I notice that you're shutting down. Picking up on the cues of your partner, and not just like, I'm going to keep talking at you. I'm not going to keep talking at you. Okay. I want to figure this out, but I don't know if she really wants to figure it out. I just think the exhaustion has set in that she just kind of like, do I want this to be the rest of my life? Okay. And I think that, Edmond has some arrested development. I think this experience can be re-traumatizing, re-triggering. And it just, in some ways, exposes him. But at the same time, I think it exposes KB. that maybe she's not as far in her healing journey as she thinks that she is. They bring out the worst in each other. Do you want to marry somebody that brings out the worst in you? Okay, do you really want to be that person? I think her having tension just took away from the whole experience. And you start to see him break, maybe break from character. And he walks away. He's also over it at times. It just, they continue to bump heads because they are just two different people. There's also no romantic chemistry for me. We see them rollerblading and I see like, okay, that looks fun, but the romance, how often do we see her kissing him, caressing him, hugs, kisses? It's just not there for me. Okay, those are the things I'm picking up on. It's just, it's not there, it's not working. And so later we see him with flowers to say sorry. Them flowers was kind of ugly, y'all. Them ugly ass flowers. Okay, but he tried. It's the thought that counts, right? Even if the flower's ugly and they dying, it's the thought that counts. Okay, she questions whether she has anything left. You don't. Okay, even after trying on the wedding gowns, you have nothing left. You saying that out loud that you yesterday wanted to throw your ring off that mountain. You need to say that too. You could have kept that one in your mind. Okay, because that's only gonna make your partner feel worse. Like, you wanted to basically call off the engagement yesterday. I think those are feelings that you've been feeling for a long time, and once again you're at the point of exhaustion. So just end it. Just end it, because it's not working. Okay, they're both engaging in old behaviors, and you don't want to be in a relationship building a foundation in marriage with old behaviors. Okay, with old behaviors. Why be with somebody that you said brings out the worst in you? Tension, that's not the person you want to be. And I think we just see once again Edmond being the son, her being the mother, trying to pour into him that invisible labor that we do as women in relationships. And it's not going to work. Okay, it's not going to work. You have to recognize when to call it quits. And she knows that. You know that by now, that it's not working. So why keep going? Why? It ain't working. Is it for the check? It's just not working. Love can only take you so far. Okay, is this the love we all desire to have? Is this the kind of love that y'all want to make babies with, have a family with, shoot up the club with? No, it's not. It's really not. Okay, so I need them to let it go. The rollerblading date it's cute, but y'all not romantic. This isn't romance. Okay, it's just two people who are just like, yeah, Edmond loves her more than she loved him. And I don't know if Edmond would ever be with a woman like her again. Okay, they both have work to do. Maybe Edmond has a little bit more work than KB does, but there's work to be done on both sides. Okay, but it's a wrap. We're gonna see them go to the altar, and they should not be getting married. They should not. It's done. Okay, it's done. So now Megan and Jordan, you know, the biggest thing they have between them is lifestyle differences. Can you get past being the breadwinner and him going to work? Now they have this little disagreement about, hey, when you come home, Jordan, can you talk to me? Can you tell me how your day was? Because I'm sitting at home kind of like bored, and even though I made this life for myself, I need company, I need companionship, I need somebody to talk to. You know, I played tennis today. I want a private jet to have some drinks with friends in Salt Lake, but what did you do at work today? Okay, totally relatable. Okay, totally relatable. As a therapist, when I get home, I don't want to talk to nobody. Jordan says when he comes home from work, he is on 10 hours a day, and we see him start to break. You know why we're seeing him start to break? Because of the pressure of the show, filming, working, still trying to be a dad. He's trying to juggle so many different things, and it's too much. Okay, as a therapist, at the end of the day, sometimes I don't want to talk to nobody, but I'm married, and I have to sometimes recognize, as much as I don't want to hear my husband talk about his work, how he's stressed about it because it feels like another client talking to me, I have to put that aside, because sometimes my partner needs something from me, and even though I'm tired, I have to give something. And there are times where I communicate, hey, it's been a longer day, I'm gonna go out for a little bit. Sometimes, y'all, to be honest, I just get real quiet. And my husband, after being with me so long, knows when I'm real quiet after work, that means I ain't got it in me, y'all. I ain't got it in me, dog. I ain't got it in me to listen to you talk about work and the work stress, okay? I'm not perfect. Sometimes I just want to sit in silence. Not hear nothing, not do nothing, maybe dead scroll. And I recently told him that, like, he's like, I know you don't want, sometimes you don't like me talking about work, you don't want to hear it. It's like, to be honest with you, it's not that I don't want to hear it. It's just sometimes you feel like a client. And I'm just being transparent with y'all. I told my husband that actually today. He's like, yeah, I get it. That's why I don't talk about work as much with you, because I don't want to feel like that. I'm like, yeah, it's not you. It's just sometimes I don't want to have another client experience after work once I already shut off being a therapist. But I am married, so there are times where it's like there are things I don't want to do, or I'm not in the mood, or I can't give it to you, but still I listen. I might be a little bit more quieter, but I'm going to listen. And so I think that she has to recognize there are going to be times where Jordan just needs to be Jordan. And Jordan is used to having space, being by himself, getting off work. His son might be with his mom. And so I'm just going to just sit here and be Jordan. But going from just being Jordan to now being with Megan and being attached to somebody, he's still adjusting to, okay, even though I'm done with work, my second job is starting. Some of y'all might know what I'm talking about. Your job as a partner is starting. Okay, how was work? How are you doing? How was your day? That conversation that you are probably too tired to have, you still need to have it because you want to make your relationship work. But Jordan, to me, is somebody who's just used to being Jordan, having space. And if Megan can get past that, sometimes he's going to be working. He can't play tennis at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday. I just need space sometimes. I just need to be quiet. If she can like get past that and the money thing, I think they're going to be okay. Okay, I think they'll be okay. My biggest thing is like, you know, her adjusting to Luca having, I think it's type 2 diabetes, his monitor, having to monitor him all the time, waking up in the middle of the night. Are you really ready for that? Are you really ready to be someone who has to be cognizant all the time of the needs of a child? Okay, I don't know because her lifestyle, just like whenever I want to do something, I hop on a flight, I go do what I do. But with a child, that's not always, you can't always do that. And yeah, there are people who get on a flight with a child and go to Japan, go to Ireland and be on that 10, 12-hour flight. Couldn't be me, y'all. Couldn't be me. Okay, going to Italy with a 5-year-old, like he said, don't sound fun to me. It don't sound fun, but there are plenty of parents who do it, all right? But the biggest thing is that they have lifestyle differences. At the core, they see past that. And a lot of these other couples, I don't think they really see past lifestyle. But they are in a place where I think they can make it, y'all. I think they can if they, I think also get a little bit of counseling after the show. And also, like she said, court one another. Date, get to know each other. Even though you're married, still date and do things like that together. I think there's potential there. I don't think there's really anything else I really want to discuss from this episode. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, now we see Allie talking to her mom about her sister. They don't really have a good relationship. There's a disconnect. They didn't really elaborate too much on that. They should have, but we didn't get a bunch of that. Okay, but we are down to what, 3 couples now? Out of 3, I just give it to Megan and Jordan. The rest of them, Jordan has no, like, you know, second guesses or unsure. He's like, I know I want to marry you. I have no second guessing. Okay, we get along great. As long as we can get past the lifestyle things, we're good. Okay, but this season was trash. Okay, it was trash. All right. But what do you think, you know, what are your predictions for the weddings? Who will say no at the altar? Who will say yes and then show up at the reunion single? Do you think everybody's going to be at the reunion, or because of the stress and pressure of the show, will some people decide to stay home? But there are so many different dynamics here, that communication, apologies, active listening, that these couples don't have. And I know some of y'all hate emotional intelligence, okay, but I love it. I think people need more emotional intelligence in their relationship to make it work. That's the only way to make it work, is if you see past the behavior, see past the bullshit of the other person, and figure out what's going on deep down inside to make the relationship work. Okay, marriage is not hard, it's not easy. It all depends on who you marry. Is it work? Yes, but depending on who you are married to, it does not always have to feel like work. Okay, but you know, hit that like, subscribe. Okay, I got some checks to go cash, blessings to accept. Okay, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.